Yeah, and they are arguing, of course, that this is political. They're saying this is happening in the middle of a campaign. But again, this is not the first indictment. And with the last ones, we saw his numbers actually go up in the polls. So is this indictment really going to create a shift at all for the former president?
Look, that's why we have elections. The polling indicates no, right? Latest New York Times Siena poll, 43-43, Trump, Biden in a hypothetical matchup. And depending on what poll you look at, Donald Trump's up by 30 or 40 plus points. When you read through the indictment, and it's important to note that this indictment does not talk effectively about the events of January 6th in the sense of trying to criminalize January 6th as it relates to Donald Trump. This isn't Donald Trump incited a riot, on and on and on. This is Donald Trump engaged over a couple of months period from the November election till January 6th to try and overturn the elections. Now, this is sort of in the legalese called the fake elector scheme, which was to convince states' attorney generals and state legislatures that the results were fraudulent. Therefore, they need to have different electors being put in by the state legislatures. Very, very short and concise version of a 45-page indictment. The question is, when you read the indictment, is there any behavior that you read and you see in this indictment that you go, oh, some of those Trump supporters are going to see this and go, this is so appalling, but also so new that we didn't know that Donald Trump had done this. We would have never expected Donald Trump to do this. With this new information, I am no longer going to vote for Donald Trump. I would tell you, and I'm simply an observer of this, but when you read through the indictment, there's nothing really more damning than the Brad Raffensperger phone call. This is the phone call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, which we had on tape, when the tape we listened to before January 6th, in which Brad Raffensperger was here, heard saying, look, Mr. President, you lost. And Donald Trump is saying, I need you to go find me 10,000 votes in order to change the election results in Georgia. And that is how Donald Trump and his team viewed the first opening into changing the election. So that tape is pretty searing when you listen to it. I haven't found anything in this indictment that is more searing than that. The American public already knows about the tape, and Donald Trump's still 40 points ahead in the Republican primary.
Yeah, even still, though, some of his opponents trying to, or at least hoping to, gain some momentum here. We're already hearing from some of them. His former vice president, Mike Pence, shared some pointed words in response to the indictment. He said that anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. Do you expect that we're going to hear more of that from Republicans moving forward?
Certainly, Mike Pence takes this personally, and he said that to me as much when he said that, President Trump put him and his family's lives at risk. So for Mike Pence, this is personal. It's important to note that Mike Pence has not yet qualified to be on the debate stage come later this month. So in terms of the notable candidates, it's difficult to see where they're going to attack Donald Trump because they haven't so far. And you think about even Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, the idea that Donald Trump is taking all of this money, and Liz Harrington kept talking about small dollar donors. Well, he's taking a lot of those small dollar donors and using it to pay his own legal fees, right. $40 million in legal fees. And you'd think that that is something that any other candidate would come out swinging on. This is a guy who says he's a billionaire, who says that he's, the richest man to ever run for president, which may be true or may not be. And he is here to avenge the little guy, and yet he's taking the little guy's money and using it to pay his own legal fees. Okay. And you'd think that would be a real political Achilles heel, that if you're Ron DeSantis' campaign, your Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign, your Tim Scott's campaign, you would be just hammering home on. Of you're not giving money to Donald Trump, you're giving Donald Trump to Donald Trump's lawyers. And yet nobody's hitting on that, not him on that. None of the big candidates right now, those who are up in the polls, are attacking him on that. And I think that goes even more to the point, agree with it or like it or not, that Donald Trump's hold on the Republican Party is still very significant. And there's Republicans are scared, at least the top Republican candidates, to go after him.
And at this point, doesn't appear that a third indictment is really going to change any of that. Leland Vittert, thanks so much. Always appreciate your perspective on this. Be sure to watch On Balance tonight with Leland Vittert. It's tonight every weeknight starting at 7, 6 Central right here on NewsNation.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.